We've covered a couple different updates that had to do with death penalty stuff.
Yes, we have, like the Idaho firing squad.
The Idaho firing squad. Well, now Alabama wants to be the first state to execute a prisoner by making him breathe only nitrogen.
Okay, is this painful, or is this like an easy death?
Based on everything I'm reading, it says it is supposed to be completely painless.
Oh, then
Yes.
maybe it's a good alternative to lethal injection.
That's what I was thinking too when I first read it, because, you know, we have some major concerns with the firing squad for the people that are pulling the triggers, not necessarily the person that's being put to death. If the criminal is at that point where he's lining up with the firing squad, like,
yeah,
our justice system worked. He went through it, he or she went through it, and they are meeting what the court found to be fair and efficient in that case. But that case and that court didn't issue trauma to all the people that are going to be pulling the triggers. You know what I mean? And regardless, I don't think it matters if, you know, there's 5 people in a row, 4 of them have bullets, 1 don't. If 1 has a bullet, 4 don't. If all of them have bullets, none of them have. I don't think that matters. And based on the scientific studies done on this, it doesn't matter at all. It doesn't matter what mix of non-bullets and bullets there is, but it causes trauma in these people. It might not be immediate. It might pop up 10 years later in dreams and things like that.
It's going to make a connection in your brain that's subconscious that you might not even realize is there. Your brain makes connections constantly with whatever you're doing, whatever you're seeing. It makes those connections without your knowledge whatsoever. Yes. So, yeah, I definitely believe that it will inevitably cause trauma in those people pulling the trigger. But I also question putting people to death at all, no matter how painless it is that causing trauma too? Even if it is just nitrogen. I get people can compartmentalize. But there is a good argument against the death penalty altogether. There really is.
I mean, for the person that's giving it, but, okay, let's
for the people receiving too, because there have been innocent people put to death.
Yeah, I get that. I don't necessarily know how I feel about it, because right now, I forget what the exact number is, but right now, when somebody is put on death row, they're on death row on average for over a decade with all the appeals and everything like that. I think it might be closer to double that. I think it's like 17, 18 years. And don't quote me on that. I don't have the stat in front of me, but it's a long time. Whatever it is. It's a long time.
It is a very lengthy appeal process.
So I feel like with the way that our justice system works, that gives them a lot of chances to get off of death row. So I don't know if I back the death penalty. I don't know if I don't. I have no idea. I haven't looked into it in that amount to make a commitment one way or the other. The one thing that I do believe in is that, one, it should be painless regardless of whatever their crimes were. And that doesn't have to do with the criminal. That has to do with the families that legally are allowed to come and watch, okay?
And the people conducting it, the people that are pulling the trigger or doing the injection.
Yeah.
Anybody who has to be there and be a part of that process.
Absolutely. Now, is there a way to do it where we make the criminal press a button or make the criminal put the mask on? Maybe. I don't know. Is there an automatic system where the system is created with certain codes and nobody's pressing the button? It just automatically does it once the clock hits midnight or something. I don't know. But it sounds like this is going to be a possible good alternative. However, there are some concerns being brought up. So I don't know if you know this, but Alabama has had a few failed death penalty.
Lethal injections?
Lethal injections, and also a couple other ones, too. I just forget how they were putting people to death for the death penalty in those other cases. But one of them it was failed, and then they had 2 others where they couldn't find the veins. So this sounds more friendly by all accounts with just using a mask, and the science says it should be real painless and easy and straightforward. However, people are saying, Alabama's not really in a state where they should be testing this, the first one to test it. There's 3 states that have this approved. None have tested it. Alabama's going to be the first one.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. But I would assume if it gets to this point, like, they had to have tested it in other ways, Is this a
like
common way to put
something?
animals asleep if they're, or to death if they are at that point in their life, they have an illness like cancer's taken over them, something like that, right? Everyone's had a pet or a friend that's had a pet that had to put them down because they got hit by a car, whatever,
so
a million
horrible.
reasons,
Yeah.
right? Is this one of the ways that they do it, and does it appear painless? I get that humans are different than animals, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like there should be a good amount of testing. With this being a news update, I didn't go down that rabbit hole trying to find out exactly what tests have been conducted. Maybe it's something we can look into further, especially if this ends up going through. But I thought it was very interesting, and I'm going to keep a watch on this because we were contemplating other ways to institute the death penalty other than lethal injection, because there is
firing squad,
because there's a major shortage on the drugs for lethal injection. So yeah,
I think this could be, it seems like very simple and easy as well. Like, you're not going to run out of nitrogen, most likely, I believe. And it's as simple as hooking up a mask to an air tank. Like, it just seems very simple and easy, and if it's painless, then sounds like a great idea.
Yeah,
Whether
absolutely.
you believe in the death penalty or not. I mean,
whether you believe in it or not, there are states that are doing it, okay? So if they're going to do it, let's find the easiest, less aggressive, traumatic type of way to do that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
The least painful, least traumatic option.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. But I'm curious what you guys think. As always, let me know how you feel about it, and leave it in the comments below.
Okay.